What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Real Ones Canes podcast. He is Cam Underwood, managing editor of State of the U. And if you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, you will see that it is official. Look at the frame. There's Cam Underwood with his handle at Underwood Sports right there. I mean, yeah, man. It's big time. I'm the Beast, Brian London. I switched sides. I went from the left side to the right side, but pay no attention to that. It's all good. It's all the same. Cam, we are here for one reason. We just got done watching a press conference from Nixa, Missouri, a city that I did not know existed until about, I don't know, a few months ago. And the University of Miami has secured the verbal commitment of the number one recruit in the country for the 2026 class. He is 6'7.5", 325-pound offensive lineman Jackson Cantwell.
Let's go.
It's all about the U. It's all about the U. Okay, I won't try to do my Luke impression, but this is big, literally, and we talked before off air about my excitement and why I'm excited about this and how we've gotten into the transaction as much as the action. And, you know, it's kind of Christmas in May for a lot of Canes fans, but give us the deets. What is Miami getting in this? And I've seen him talk a bunch of times, including the press conference he just gave. This kid is definitely mature beyond his years. You know, my kid's the same age as him and could not handle that press conference the same way. Right. So, but what is the University of Miami getting in Jackson Cantwell?
I mean, this is a huge win, literally and figuratively. Number one player in America, guys. I know that, you know, I think 247, I think they dropped him to, or not dropped. He's the number 3 player there, but he's the consensus number one offensive lineman, number one offensive tackle across the industry. So that's every single recruiting site. You know, that's pretty good. And I think that, you know, across the 5 sites, his aggregate ranking is like 8. You know what I mean? So like multiple of them have him number 1, a couple have number 2. And like I said, 247 has number 3 overall in America. So like he is truly elite. He's the prototype. He's 6'7.5", 325. Both of his parents were Olympic shot put throwers. His father, Christian, won a silver medal at that event. I believe that his mother also won a medal. I don't remember which one. Or I just saw the other tidbit about his father winning silver. So, like, he's everything that you want at a franchise left tackle. And I know that, you know, there's, you know, haters and opposing fans saying, oh, well, Miami paid this for a right tackle. First of all, shut up. Second of all, you wish that you could, that you could have even bought Cantwell off of his commitment. You know what I mean? But this is between Mirabal and Cristobal doing their dollar in recruiting for years, paying off positively. And we've seen this with other players, where the longevity and strength of the recruiting relationship pays off. If you remember Avante Williams years ago, I know that he's been in the news for something very terrible recently, but when he was a recruit and everybody thought he was going to Florida, and Florida, they had the cookie cake with the orange and blue and everything, and they were, oh, it's Tay-Day this, Tay-Day that, and he was like, I'm going to Miami. I've known these guys for 5 years. They recruited my cousin, Lorenzo Lingard, and like talked to me when I was in 8th grade. This is not new. What are we talking about? But that relationship matters. And the same thing with Cantwell. And, you know, Oregon, they tried to get involved late with, you know, offers of money and things of that nature. Didn't even really make it to the final 2. Georgia tried the same thing, you know, to get involved late. And they made a decent push. But, you know, Cantwell decided that, you know, for his growth and development, to work with coaches who have developed multiple elite offensive tackles and plethora of offensive linemen over the course of their careers, you know, Miami was the better choice. Now, I do want to circle back before you ask me, and I know people are listening saying, look, you're trying to talk about other teams not being able to step up with the money and blah, blah. NIL is a factor and a component of the world that we live in. So I'm not going to sit here and try to spin a yarn that Miami did not offer him any money with NIL. We did. But even at Jackson Cantwell's words, there were other considerations that tipped the scales. And as I saw Harry Rothwell, GM of I forget what the store is now, the Hurricane Team store.
Yeah, it's the Hurricanes team store. Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's the new store that he is at. And I saw, excuse me, my boy Roman talking about basically on Twitter, people, offering money, but you make the choice for you. And Harry Rothwell quoted that tweet and said he's pretty sure that one, if not two other teams offered more for Cantwell than Miami did. And yet and still, where did he commit? The U. So, it's just, I just wanted to put that out there. But short story long, this is a guy who you are expecting to be the left tackle in 2026. You expect Markel Bell to go to the NFL. You expect Jackson Cantwell to step in there. If not, right tackle for a year before he slides over to left. But this is a foundational player to this recruiting class, to this roster moving forward. I cannot oversell or overstate what Miami is getting in Jackson Cantwell. And conversely, what Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, and everybody else in the country is not getting because Jackson Cantwell is going to Coral Gables.
A couple of things. One, just because he is the number one overall recruit, or at least number one, number two, or number three overall recruit, does not guarantee success, but certainly gives off the idea that you have a better chance, right, of him being a great player. Number two,
sir, just before you go on with that, I saw something that in the last 10 years or so, or 15, the number one and number two offensive tackles in a recruiting class, half of them, I think it was in the past 15 years, that 14 of those 30 were first round NFL draft picks who were the number one or number two overall tackle in America, which Jackson Cantwell consensus number one, but if you want to extend that out. And something like 26 out of those 30 were first or second round draft picks, and none of them transferred except for two. These are foundational building blocks who dominate here and then go on to the next level, as proven over many a year.
Yeah, there's a good chance, right? If an offensive tackle has risen to those ranks, if an offensive lineman has risen to those ranks, they are ready for the next level, which means they're going to step in, which means their production and their improvement at the position is going to be increased, which means they're going to make it at yet the next level. Yeah, there's all good things that happen when you are the number one offensive lineman in the country. But what I wanted to get back to is, programs talking about money or what have you. Here's the deal. And you and I know this because we are alums of the University of Miami, but the University of Miami for the longest time was in no financial position to be able to do the things that every other school was doing to get to the promised land, right? Whether that was on the public-facing front of facilities or the not-so-public-facing front of guys with bags of cash, right? Miami wasn't at that level. They have now gotten to the point where they've gotten their bleep together, and now there is a good amount of boosters and people and businesses that when there is a need to spend money in the new age of NIL, they come together and they help out, as it should have been all along. And this is one of the blessings that the University of Miami has for being in a major metropolitan area, the amount of wealth that is in this area, right? Because yes, you would expect that Tuscaloosa and Knoxville and all of these SEC places would have all of the money, and they certainly do, but those aren't meccas of wealth, those areas. So the University of Miami has a different kind of pool of money they can go out to when it comes to these deals. But this is the world we live in. So don't be jealous or talking smack about the U spending money, because you wish you had the money to spend and you would spend it if you did. So there is that. The other important thing, I think, Cam, as it relates to the roster and development and Jackson Cantwell, whatever, is he is going to graduate early. He's going to enroll in December.
January, but yeah.
Yeah, well, yes. He said he's coming to South Florida in December. So
so graduating,
right, yeah.
But
so,
officially enrolled, right.
Yeah, as far as when the semester starts, regardless, he's going to do one semester of high school next year, play football, and then he's going to skip his shot put season in track and come down to the University of Miami.
Love that for us.
We've had plenty in the past. We used to have plenty of football players that used to also do track as well. One wonders if, since his parents do have a relationship with the director of track and field for the University of Miami, Amy Deem, if maybe he gets out there and throws a shot put in college. But that's neither here nor there. What is there is that he will be on campus early for football, which gives him even more of an opportunity to get ready for the following season. So we are excited about that. I think I haven't done it in my due diligence, and probably tomorrow or the next day, I'll reach out to some people involved in the program just not even to get their thoughts and emotions, but just as like, hey, what have you see on film, and what did you learn in talking to the kid about his football IQ, all of those things, because we know they're excited. I don't know if you saw the video of Mario Cristobal in the hallway of a hotel outside a ballroom, basically fist pumping like there was no tomorrow.
It was funny. They, because the ACC meetings are in Amelia Island, Florida, right. And the journalist stepped out and was just like,
it was from War Chant, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to leave. War Chant, journalist, was like, okay, Mario Cristobal setting up to, stream the thing, and like Cam Gorby, the SID, is over there with him, and he's just like with his phone, like you saw him walking by and everything, and finally, I guess Gorby asked him. He was like, "Cool, coach is going to be down there. You can stay here in the video, but just please stay back a little bit." And you heard Cristobal, and like Brandon Marcello from 247 is in at those meetings and everything. And he's like, just heard a loud scream from outside the ball, like in one of the hallways. Can confirm that was Mario Cristobal, and then the War Chant journalist put up the thing, and he's out there celebrating and screaming and yelling. And I mean, HYFR, like, absolutely, you should be. Like, this kid is incredible. And I mean, it's like just a testament to the work that's been done. Asked about like why Cantwell, at his high school said, look, they've developed Penei Sewell for my Detroit Lions, the highest paid lineman in the NFL today. And then Francis Mauigoa, look, I already wrote an article up on stateoftheu.com where I said, Markel Bell has an outside chance of being like a first rounder next year. Like that, you saw just the magnetic pull that he had at Pro Day in shorts and a t-shirt, and all the NFL dudes are like going over like, yo, what is this redwood tree over here? Like, who is this? Write that name down. Go watch the film now, because we've been watching Cam Ward. Go back and watch the snaps of this kid playing with, because like 6'9", 350, and carries it like he's 310. You don't get guys like that a lot. So now you add him and other guys, all the guys that Cristobal coached up at Alabama and whatnot, so yeah, like there's plenty of reason why Jackson Cantwell was drawn to the individual growth and development of offensive linemen under the duo of Mirabal and Cristobal, especially when compared to Georgia, because like, honestly, they're fine. They're good. But it's more strength in numbers than individual excellence at Georgia.
So, someone asked, or Cantwell in the post press conference about, why would you pick Miami? That, Georgia and Oregon and the other teams seem to be ready for the playoffs and playoff ready and ready to win right now. And Miami, I don't know. And he's like, well, one, every program Mario Cristobal's been at, they've gone an upwards incline as far as their record goes. And also, they produce NFL offensive linemen. That's why. Also, I like Coral Gables. It's a great place to be. Oh, by the way, why wouldn't you like Coral Gables? It is a beautiful place to be.
Come on. It's like you and I both went there,
Right.
brother. I remember when it was the summer before my senior year that I came down and I took a tour. And I'm from Detroit. I've been to Michigan. I've been to Michigan State. I took, my mother, both my parents are from Chicago. I'm a nerd. So I went, shout out to Brandon, who's not here. I toured Northwestern. I toured the University of Chicago. These are the kinds of places that, I was like applying to, got into, had the option to go to. And I remember when I went on that tour at Miami, I said, oh, hey, wait a minute. And the academics are elite, by the way, also as well. In addition, I say that because like me, I wouldn't have gone somewhere that didn't. But then also you have the ambiance and atmosphere, we will call it.
Yes.
And you put all of that with, come on, man. Like I know that everybody wants to hate, because they're looking from outside the club, but like there is a lot to love about the University of Miami, whether people want to admit it or not. And Jackson Cantwell came down and saw that, and especially with Coral Gables, I know it's a near-lying suburban kind of thing. Being from a small town, I'm pretty sure that actually appealed to him, as opposed to going to the college town of Athens, or Eugene, Oregon, which is Nike U and everything. But Coral Gables, it's a pretty nice place to be. So
and here's the other thing, which and we talk about this with professional athletes down here. But it's something you mentioned that I really don't think about it a lot, but you know what just popped into my mind as it relates to Coral Gables and going to the University of Miami as opposed to going to Athens or Columbus or any of the other college towns, which is, yes, Jackson Cantwell's huge, right? So he's going to walk around town. People are going to think like he's someone, right? But for the most part, because of just the multinationality nature of South Florida, there's a lot of people that are here that didn't grow up with college football, and they may not be paying attention as well. But also we tend to just kind of do our own, we're just kind of used to people walking around doing their own thing. Like, David Beckham was at a Whole Foods the other day and no one bothered him because it's just, whatever. Okay. It's a Tuesday. Right. I think there's got to be something to the fact that you can come down here and you can live your life and not be bothered. He can eventually get an apartment down in Kendall and no one's going to, bother him when he has to run to Publix.
I guarantee you his apartment won't be in it'll be going the other way. It won't be going that
way. Okay. Sorry. Not the same student life, not the same student life that you and I maybe had. But yes, regardless, he's going to have a condo somewhere where he's going to, but he is going to have to make some run to Publix to get something, and no one's going to bother him. He's going to be okay. Whatever, or a couple people. But it's not like if he were to go to a college town, he wouldn't be able to walk out of his door without 7 million people, wanting his autograph or picture or what have you.
Well, hopefully he's successful enough where that kind of celebrity follows him. But I think the bigger thing is he's the better part of 6'8". You know what I mean? There's not a lot of people that big around anywhere, So, but it will be. He will be able to have the experience, hopefully, that he desires to have, and hopefully on that same kind of trajectory of number one, top. Well, I'll call it top 3 player in America, number 1 offensive lineman, number 1 tackle in America. You should be like Francis Mauigoa in that 3-year Penei Sewell, 3 years in a first-round draft pick. That should be your trajectory if you're Jackson Cantwell. And I think that regardless of where he lives, and again, I just think he would more be a Brickell kind of a person than but I'm not sure even because he's from a small town. But being able to come in and do that, succeed on the field, learn and grow and develop and move forward.
For all I know, he wants a duplex in Westchester. I have no idea. Who am I to say?
Who are me exactly?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
At least we can give him the suggestions because we know all of the areas because he's coming down here and not going anywhere else.
You know what? He's going to call us.
Absolutely.
Look for real estate suggestions.
Yeah, the next time that you hear the house phone ring is going to be Jackson Cantwell on the air.
Yeah, for sure. 1,000%. So listen, congrats to Mario and Alex Mirabal and the entire staff who did an outstanding job, obviously, up until the end. Drew Rosenhaus with another another deal brokered. So good for him. And to all the haters, just continue to hate. Well, you just have to deal with it. So there's that. Hey, real quick before we get out of here, the UM baseball team got swept by Virginia over the weekend, which was not advantageous. But Cam, to be honest with you, I've looked everywhere. They did not fall much after that, which was odd to me. They're still basically the same in the RPI. And I looked at every projection. It could be a different regional, whether it's LSU or Auburn or wherever. They're going to be probably a 2 seed as long as they don't look terrible against Notre Dame in the series coming up and also the ACC tournament. If they can just kind of keep up their pace of winning most of the games, they should still be a 2 seed. And if you asked me March, 30th about the University of Miami's chances to be a 2 seed at a regional, I would laugh for about an hour.
I mean, we had that very conversation.
Yes.
On this here podcast. So obviously you don't want to lose games, and you definitely don't want to get swept, but you didn't. But won the midweek game against FIU, so cool. But yeah, moving forward, definitely need a strong showing this weekend. Need to win that series, and then be very competitive in the ACC tournament. I've seen chatter from like D1 baseball and things like that. Was it the 11.7 also on Twitter machine that there's a chance, depending on like if Miami closes very strongly and some of things break the way that they need, that they could host a regional. But pretty much in the spot of look, let's just get into the field of 64, probably a 2 seed in somebody else's regional, and go from there. But even with that, still just night and day difference from what we'd seen earlier. Happy birthday to Daniel Cuvée, the star third baseman. Saw that today, so hopefully he celebrates this weekend by hitting lots of dingers. And yeah, the baseball team continues to move forward, so we definitely need to bounce back this here weekend to continue to push into the postseason.
For those of you that are listening to this as a podcast on your audio streaming device, in the next segment, you will hear a candid conversation with Bryant McKinney, the former Miami Hurricanes national champion and going into the Ring of Honor and College Football Hall of Famer and Super Bowl champion and Pro Bowler, about mental health. We will talk to him about mental health because he has an event coming up at the Hard Rock all about mental health awareness. He's got a great panel of guests. We'll talk to Bryant about that and also ask him a couple questions about the U as well. And if you are watching on YouTube, that video will be like the one just before this one on the YouTube channel. So just go look for it. It'll be there, but it's a great conversation. You should go check it out. Cam, we will continue keeping on in Miami Hurricanes. Like, what do we have to look forward to now? Is it baseball or bust, or do we have other stuff coming up? And what's going on at stateoftheu.com right now? Any good articles that people should go check out?
I mean, there's all kinds of great stuff over at stateoftheu.com, so please go on over and fan with us. We do have the Welcome to the U piece for Jackson Cantwell and a few other pieces. And Craig T. Smith hopped in. I was actually going to start crafting that, and he was already writing that one, so that was one written by someone not named me. So great to see that. Working on a bunch of other things. There's a couple series up there that Justin DeTavio is working on. So some things that are not already published. Then there's things that have been published. The recruiting rules are up. I was waiting for Jackson Cantwell's announcement either way before writing this month's recruiting class breakdown to see where we stand across the board in this recruiting class and much, much more. So stateoftheu.com, please come on over and fan with us. And thank you for listening and watching to this here show. And we'll be back with more.
Yeah. All right. So go over to stateoftheu.com and check out all of Cam's work and all the great writers that he has over there. Go check that out. And again, stay tuned for the Bryant McKinney interview. If you're listening on audio, if you're watching on video, go find the video. It's a great one. And we'll see you next time right here on the Real Ones Canes podcast. Peace.